What is going on, guys? Welcome to your 16th iPhone development tutorial. And in this tutorial, I'm going to be clearing up any confusion you may have about protocols, delegates, action sheets, or anything like that. So check this out. We went ahead and we adopted this protocol in the last tutorial, and by doing so, we pretty much said, alright, we know you already have a bunch of built-in methods to go along with that action sheet. So then, later on, we built this method called button pressed, and inside it we said delegate self. And what this means is it pretty much said, alright, for those built-in methods that we already imported to go ahead and handle the action sheet, where are those methods? And we said, well, they're in the same class as our class, but if you go ahead and looked around, there are no methods to handle this action sheet. Well, that's where we're going to be building in this tutorial, last part of the tutorial. So let's go ahead and do so. So the method that we want to happen to handle this action sheet is void. That's what it's going to return. And go ahead and type action sheet, and we don't want cancel. It's action sheet, and the first parameter is UI action sheet asterisk and action sheet. And there are a bunch of different parameters you can have. What we want to do is will dismiss with button index. Make sure I didn't type anything wrong. And as a parameter, it's going to type ns integer, and it's going off the screen here, button index. Alright, now before we go ahead and build body, let's go ahead and talk about this header. What's it mean? Alright, so these are action sheet methods, but what's this parameter, will dismiss with button index? Well, there are a lot of different methods you can use, but what this one is going to do is it's going to run this bit of code automatically when you dismiss the action sheet. And what that means, pretty much, click a button and get rid of the action sheet. So if we're saying, alright, so what's this? This button index is each button on your action sheet has an index. Either, I think cancel is -1, and then the rest of the buttons are like 0, 1, 2, 3. I don't know. I don't know the indexes by heart, but it doesn't really matter. So in order to see what button you clicked to appropriately handle your code, you pass it a button index. So if you're saying, alright, if you pass it -1, cancel the program, something like that. So anyways, this bit of code we type in here is automatically going to run whenever we dismiss our action sheet. So with that being said, let's go ahead and type something in here. So we pretty much already have a built-in, it automatically cancels whenever you click that cancel button. We don't need any code for that. But what we do need is a bit of code to run if you don't click that cancel button. So let's go ahead and make an if, and oh yeah, there we go, condition already popped up. So we'll say if that button index, if the button we clicked is not equal to action sheet. Alright, so here's what we're saying. Alright, if the button we click is not equal to the cancel button, then by default it must have been the go ahead button. So what do we want to do when you click the OK button? Well, what we want to do in this case is just create a basic alert. So if you're saying, alright, how do you do that? And by the way, I'm creating an alert because I want to show you guys how to create an alert. You don't have to create an alert. You can put anything in here you want to do. You can make your screen turn a different color. You can go to another view. You can pretty much give them a hot dog. But I want to create an alert. So UI alert view. Here's how you create an alert, by the way. And I'm going to name mine alert. And what you need to do is you need to set it equal to a bunch of stuff, and a bunch of crap's going to pop up. UI alert view, allocate some space for it, and again, a bunch of crap's going to pop up just like when you created your action sheet. So initiate with title. I'll say, okay, here it is. Now let's go ahead and give us some space to work with. Alright, for the message, this is what's going to appear, well, it's pretty much going to appear in the middle of your alert. Say, so let's go ahead and say bacon is good. I mean, why not? You can say anything. So, in the delegate for this is just like before, you can have a delegate, but go ahead and press self. And for the cancel button title, this cancel button is, of course, what do you want to appear on the cancel button? And go ahead and press done. And other button titles, we don't have any other buttons, so go ahead and press nil right here. Get out of my way. Nil. Alright. Really? Other button, as soon as I type something, you move. Alright, so go ahead and after this, what we need to do is be able to show this alert on the screen. So go ahead and type the name of your alert, alert show, and you also want to release it. Alert release. Alright, so I mean that's all we need to do. So what we're saying is, alright, we know that this method is automatically going to get ran whenever we click anything on the action sheet. So what we're saying is, alright, if we click the cancel button, of course, cancel the action sheet. But if we click the OK button, then we want to show this alert. So let's go ahead, build and run this, see if we got any errors, and we succeeded. So, alright. Switches, we know what this does. The button, once you click it, now an action sheet pops up and it says, want to see an alert? We can click cancel, and that cancels out of it. But check this out. If we click the so-called destructive button, which is really not destructive at all, an alert pops up that says bacon is good. And let me just see one thing. Let me just quit this. And I think that if you, for delegate, if you go ahead and click a nil, then I don't know what's going to happen here, but I think this is what I commonly do. So let me see if this still works. Button, I'm button. Yep. Good. Okay. Alright, so I think if it doesn't have a delegate, then you can go ahead and pass in nil. And remember, a delegate is code that you want automatically to run at a certain point of time. But, you know, we don't want any bit of code to run, so we can go ahead and pass in nil for right there. So, one last time, what we did. And by the way, well, let me talk you guys through this. Since we needed this method right here, this was a built-in method. All we needed to do is build the body, and since we needed this method for our program, we needed to go ahead and adopt it in our protocol. And by adopting it, it pretty much made the header for us and said, alright, all you need to do whenever you need this method is to create the body. So then we said, alright, whenever we click our button, what do we want to happen? We want to build an action sheet, and we want to tell that action sheet that that method that we adopted is in the same class. So it showed the action sheet and did everything like that. And now, once you exited out of the action sheet, it called this method right here. And what this method did is pretty much looked at what button you clicked. If you click cancel, to cancel it out of the action sheet. But if you click that OK button, then what it did is pretty much just created an alert using these parameters, showed the alert on the screen, and released it from memory. So what a couple of tutorials. Now you know how to create action sheets and alerts as well. And now you know a little bit about protocols, which is pretty much built-in methods that we can use, and also delegates, which is pretty much code that runs at a specified point automatically. So that's that for this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I mean, if you need any help, just ask me in my forum. Please don't send me a message in my inbox because I never look at it. So thank you guys for watching. I'm going to go take a nap or something, and I'll see you next tutorial.